On this episode of The Fanbase, we discuss losses and gains. All the things that cause Wall Street employees to do Scarface amounts of blow. Welcome back to The Fanbase. I am your host, Dialov, hanging out here in the TFB Sports Bar. And to my right is the drunkest sidekick around, Leo the Lion.
For the first time, I became a loser.
You just realized you're a loser?
No, I lost a bet. I bet the bartender that Andy Dalton will never get a large contract. The Bengals have disappointed me.
The people of Cincinnati already know that story. What'd you bet?
Let's just say that as freaky as I am, I never expected for my tail to be defiled in that fashion.
I'm not going to ask any more questions. This episode of The Fanbase is sponsored by a mind eraser. LeBron James lost in the finals, lost fans in Miami, and now has lost weight? Yeah, he lost 10 lbs by dropping carbs and Dwayne Wade.
It's a new Hollywood slim down diet.
Also, part of that diet is to avoid first-round draft picks.
Too many of them can weigh you down.
But his new diet helped him gain a power forward.
Finally, that trade happened.
Kevin Love is headed to Cleveland, and the Cavs' 2 number 1 draft picks are headed to Minnesota. The players get to trade cold for cold.
Poor Wiggins.
Yeah, I feel bad for the kid. Andrew Wiggins is one of those orphan kids you see on late night TV that you really feel bad for, where the announcer tells you everything of what's wrong and how bad it is for this kid.
He just wants to have a home and be loved.
For just a 7-figure contract, you can help this young man have a place to play basketball.
Tell them what they would get.
You'll get the satisfaction of knowing that the money you give him will be passed on to strippers that need it for tuition money or baby formula.
Do it for the kids. It's a win-win.
Last week, Paul George had a bad break.
Maybe too soon.
Okay, well, it was actually a clean break, which is a good thing for his rehab. The big question of the week was it beneficial for NBA stars to compete in these games? Now, players do believe that it is okay for them to play because Paul just had a freak accident.
I have an excuse for a freak accident.
Yeah, the judge is tired of hearing the reason of why the cops caught you in that sorority house, wearing a thong and a toilet plunger.
It's a freaky accident.
Kevin Durant is the first player to change his mind. Thursday, he decided that he would not play in the FIBA games. He actually stated that he is mentally and physically drained from last season.
I don't buy it.
I don't buy the part of the physical exhaustion because he just stands around waiting for Westbrook to stop dribbling all over the court.
The mental exhaustion part I do get because wondering why Westbrook dribbles all around the court is mentally exhausting.
Former WNBA star Becky Hammon has been hired as an assistant coach for the Spurs.
She will be the first woman to coach in the NBA?
Technically the second, but the first to be paid. See, Lisa Boyer was a volunteer assistant for the Cavs in 2001, which means she worked for free.
Oh, the Cavs were nice to hire someone and not pay them.
It was like a bad internship for her. A crappy team with no pay. I mean, there were kids in China that turned down the job to be assistant coach with the Cavs.
A nickel for every Nike made sounded much better for them.
Keep in mind, this is when LeBron was still in high school, only making 6 figures. Well, it was given to his mother.
And giving him a nice weekly allowance.
The SEC, Big 12, Big 10, Pac-12, and ACC are in luck. The NCAA has given permission for the 5 big conferences to make up their own rules.
Like they didn't before.
They plan to come together like one of those cartoon robots, where each piece has a powerful arm or leg.
Together as one, they will become one big powerful entity to destroy college football. We must crush smaller conferences.
It does kind of suck for those smaller conferences. It's not like when I play a video game with a Big Sky team, set it on easy, and build a championship dynasty team.
Video game? This is no video games. Plans to dominate the whole universe is real.
That's it for this week's episode of The Fanbase. Hopefully you've gained some knowledge about Leo's naughty ways, but I have a feeling you'd want to erase that episode from your memory. go ahead. But try to remember to come back next week. It may help if you click the subscribe button. See you then.